Alright guys, so what you're going to need for this build is you're going to need your Phillips screwdriver. You're going to need to remove the two screws right here. Alright. Next, you're going to need to go ahead and remove your Allen wrench holes. Alright, for this you're going to need a 4mm or your factory one. And I'll go ahead and break it free with the factory one. Alright, and we'll go ahead and remove these screws. Alright, place our first one. Now we'll go ahead and do our second one. And our final screw. Alright, now that we got our 4 screws out, you're going to go ahead and remove your kill switch. You're going to go ahead and remove your spark plug wire. Alright, get that out of the way. You'll go ahead and remove this Phillips screw in the front. Alright, and now you can go ahead and remove the cover. Alright, so what we have is we have a kill switch, which goes to both sides of your stator. Alright, so there is no polarity, but I went ahead and installed the kill switch. So the 2 wires, short wires, will go ahead and go to your kill switch itself. And then the 2 longer wires will go right here and right here. It doesn't matter red or black. Okay? And to get to that wire, you're going to go ahead and need to remove those screws. Go ahead and you're going to need your 3mm. And so you're going to go ahead and crack these. All right. Okay, now we have the screws off. All right, so behind here are some little spacers. Make sure you don't lose those. There's one there and one there. So here's the spacer, put those aside. And here's your mag pickup right here, which it has magnets right here. So you're going to go ahead and inspect this. You're going to inspect all your fins. Make sure none are cracked, that none of them are broken, that everything is good. All right. And you're going to go ahead and install your wire here, your wire here, your wires to your switch, and then you'll go ahead and reinstall this back on. Alright guys, it just arrived just right now. Let's go ahead and grab it. Car keys, mail key. Alright guys, here it is. Perfect timing. Just for this video. I thought I had it, but it just came in the mail. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, we got some DDM candy. Let's go. We got our MSD ignition wire. We got our replacement spark plug. And this is what we were here for. Forget that tool. That's what I want. A DDM sticker. No. Actually, this is what we're looking for. The DDM Racing Zenoa flywheel air gap gauge tool. All right. So what this is used for is you need a gap between this magnet right here and your coil. So what you'll do is you'll place this on here, and that will stick right to this gauge. The magnets will go right through. As you can see, it's stuck to it. So you'll put your spacer back behind. and your other spacer, which will go right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and reapply some blue Loctite on these screws. All right, guys, so now you're gonna use your blue Loctite. And you're gonna place just a little bit on the screw. Not too much. All right, now we'll use our 3mm. All right, so what you're gonna use is your 3mm and the one included. So what you're gonna wanna do is make sure that your spacers here and here, you're gonna push down hard with this in place. Hand tighten them up. And just verify that they're tight. As tight as you can. All right, so now you'll go ahead and spin this. Out. And now you have the proper gap. So what this does is when the magnets hit this, which sends spark to your spark plug. All right, and that's how you set the gap on your coil. All right, now that we have the proper gap set, you have your wires installed on both ends. What you're gonna wanna do is route this cable. So this piece right here, there's these two little pins, as you can see. You can clip this with your fingers. And it comes right off. So when you first purchase it, it was about right here. And you go ahead and you can move this wherever you want. So I moved it down here out of the way. As you can see, all it does is cancels any noise. So I clipped it on down here out of the way. And then what I did is route this down here and out of the way. Okay, so with it being here, it's going to block all this and be too much in the way. So if you set this here, it's out of the way, and you can get your cover back on. All right, so now we'll go ahead and place our cover back on. Start with this piece right here. Set that. Put a small dab of Loctite. All right. And we'll go ahead and thread this one back in. All right, now that we have that in, we'll flip it over. And as you can see, there's little grooves right here and here. So you're gonna put your plate in those holes. And I'm gonna route this cord behind the plastic. There, so see, now it's out of the way. All right, so you'll set that in the groove. You'll slide that in. So now it's in place. Okay. All right, you'll make sure that fits in there nice. And now you're gonna take your Phillips screw and place those in there and go ahead and tighten those down. Verify that they're tight. And now we'll go ahead and install our bolts back in the holes. So you'll take your 4mm, just add a dab. And go ahead and reinstall. All right. Second one. All right, our third screw. And our last screw. All right, once they're on there all snug, you're gonna take your original stock wrench or a T-handle, and you just want that extra leverage to make sure that it is extremely tight due to the vibrations, that the screws don't back out. And I'll do this in a cross pattern. Okay, so you'll go top corner, bottom corner, up, and cross. Okay, so now it's all assembled. You got your switches in there, your grommets in there, all your screws are in, and you got your wire coming out right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back in the truck. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that everything is clean. No oil, no debris from the fuel lines. Alright, it's all clean and it's ready to be put back in. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and place our motor back in. Take your 3mm. Go ahead and thread that one in. Right, now we're gonna route our hoses back on the carburetor. Alright, this one will go back on the top. Installed our upper hose. And we installed our lower hose. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and install our bolts. Okay, now that they're all snug, you'll take your factory tool or T-handle, whatever you like best, and you're gonna do the same thing and lock them down. You're gonna go opposite. Okay, so just to recap, you're gonna go cross. You're gonna make sure that your numbers are down. All right, our next step is to connect our throttle linkage. As you can see, this piece has a little groove that goes this direction. And it's set in the groove. Next, you're going to add your throttle screw in. Alright, so now our throttle linkage is good to go. Alright, so now that our throttle linkage is set, and it's going to be in this angle right here. Alright, now to install the indicator light, which I did here. You want to mount this somewhere that is visible. I found that that's probably one of the cleanest spots to put it. So you're going to need assortment of bits. So I went ahead and stepped it up, and I believe it is a 1/4. And you just want to measure this with the size of this and verify it's about the same width. Start off a little smaller. If it doesn't go through, step it up until you hit the correct size. So you'll need the bits and you'll need the gun. Okay, so once you have your indicator light installed in here, what I did is remove the pins out of here, which this is set for 6 volt, 5 volt, 4 volt, or no protection, which is none. Since I'm running a LiPo, I went ahead and removed them. This is more from nickel metal hydrate. So what I'm going to do is place this in this area. So for running this clean, what I did is run the wire through the hole, which goes underneath here and inside here. And I tied it in right here. Okay. Alright guys, now it's time to route your wire. You're going to want to make sure that you're away from your drive shaft or any other moving parts. So our next step is take our wire. I'm going to trace it underneath here and have it come through the hole in here. Okay, so as you can see, I'm pushing this through right here. And feed it in. Okay, so once we have enough room, we run the wire around, down through here, and up through here. Now you'll go ahead and make your connection. And as we talked about before, the other wire from here traces up to your receiver and goes into an empty channel. So now I'm going to place these right over here. Once you have it set to about where you want it, you're going to verify that your lid has enough access to control. And make sure that no cords get pinched. So we're going to place that in there. Push that down. It's out of the way of this cable. So now we're going to go ahead and zip tie this here so it is away from any moving parts. I found this is the best way to run this. So let's go ahead and get a zip tie on. So now I'm going to go ahead and I like to go ahead and pre-bend the zip tie. make it a little bit more rounded. I'm going to place it through the hole here. Take a little slack out of here so you got room for it to move. And we got it to about where we want it. Okay, so now you'll go ahead and cut flesh. Alright, so our zip tie is installed. It's nice and clean, there's no wires hanging out. And now we're ready to test it. Okay, as you can see, we got our wire coming through, zip tied into the box. We got our receiver wire that's ran underneath and into our receiver. Everything is underneath, everything is zip tied, secured. Everything looks super clean. Here's our indicator light. Now let's go ahead and go into testing. We're going to remove our cover. We're going to connect our battery. And verify black, black, red, red. Alright, so as you can see, we got all our wires in here nice and tight. Now we're going to go ahead and put our cover back on. I hate this cover. Okay. Now you'll turn on your transmitter. Verify that you are on your car, which I am. I'm on Losi 5. And we're going to go ahead and turn on the car. Alright, car's on. The indicator light's on. Now, if I turn off my controller, which would simulate my battery dying on my controller, you can see the light turns off, which indicates that it cut the engine. Now you go ahead and turn your controller back on and the light comes on. So the other thing that I did is I set this button to turn on and off that, so it will kill the car. So you see, if you watch the indicator light, I click the button, the light goes off. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that as well. And you'll set that up on a channel, as you can see on here. Channel 4 control on, which turns it off. Channel 4 off, which makes it turn on. So another thing for troubleshooting is what happened to me is I went into my linkage menu, channel reverse, and it was on reverse, and you can see that it's not on. So if you click this, now you can see that it's on. The other thing you want to check, your endpoints. Make sure that they're all at 100%. And as you can see, one side will be 100%. The other side is 100%, minus 100. Alright guys, that's it. It's all super clean. It's installed. It looks good. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial on how to install a failsafe. Please subscribe, smash that like button, and press the notification bell. Thanks for watching.